Welcome. This is Lynn from the Sunshine and Bubblegum podcast. We are on episode 6, and a huge thank you to all of you who have subscribed and have been coming back each week. We are now at 150 subscribers. We have 50 new viewers from last episode, and that is awesome. I'm so excited. So welcome. If this is your first time watching, also welcome. This is a knitting, crocheting, sewing, crafty podcast. I hope you find something fun here that will bring you back again. I am coming to you from outside of New Orleans, Louisiana. The boys, I have twin boys, and they have just started preschool this past week. So that's been a big, exciting thing going on here around the house. And I've gotten some finished objects to show you. I have some new things I'm working on. We have purchases today from all the birthday money I got last week or 2 weeks ago. So lots and lots to show you. And I'm really excited you're all here. If you're looking to find me on social media, I am SunshineBubblegum on Instagram and on Ravelry. I have a SunshineBubblegum podcast group in Ravelry. That's where you can find all of the show notes for each episode, along with show notes here on YouTube on the down bar, with links to anything I talk about in the show. I try and get just about everything in there: websites, other podcasts, yarns, patterns, all that good stuff. I am also on Facebook and Etsy as Sunshine and Bubblegum. So you can find me there. But if you'd like to come over and join the Ravelry group, all the information on our current cal is on there. It is a knit and crochet along using a gradient yarn. So details are on there. Finished object thread is up. We have one finished object already, and I know there will be a second one soon. I've seen on someone's Instagram that they are blocking. So we hope to have another finished object in that thread soon, and that's very exciting. I'll give you more information about the cal in just a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to give a big welcome and thank yous to everybody who's here, who's been watching, and welcome if it's your first time. I have 2 thank you shout outs to 2 podcasters who mentioned me this week, Miss Jen Sheelan of the Jen Sheelan podcast, and Miss Jenny from the Lucky Jenny Knits podcast. These ladies are both awesome. Jen Sheelan is hilarious. If anyone hasn't seen her yet, she's full of high energy. She has her co-host Doug the dog. So go check them out. They are always up to something silly. Jen is also a mom like myself, and she is knitting, sewing, crafting in her spare time, and she actually found me and gave me a hello and a nice shout out on her podcast, her last podcast she did. And we are actually both currently working on the Hollyburn skirt together. So Miss Jen and I have a lot in common. So that's exciting to find more moms out there that are podcasting as well, and connect to those people. So hi ladies. I have 2 shout outs for new podcasts that I haven't quite mentioned yet. I have been watching them for a little while. It's the Knotty Knitwits. These ladies are out of Oregon, and it is Michelle and Leslie. They are a riot. If you ever want to knit with a couple of girls that are going to keep you in stitches the entire time, go check them out. They are sassy, they are silly, and it's like knitting with your girlfriends. You know, just if you needed to have a glass of wine and sit down and just stitch and knitch and bitch and whatever, these are the girls to do it. They're awesome. So they're always a hoot, and I like watching them. So I want to give them a shout out this week. I just caught their last episode yesterday, and they may or may not have been wearing pants, but that was to be determined. I'll leave that one up to them. The other thing I wanted to mention was actually not a knitting podcast, but it's another hilarious mom relief and life relief podcast. It is called I Mom So Hard. They're little 3-minute videos, and they are hysterical. If you haven't seen them, you need to go check it out on YouTube. I Mom So Hard. And the episode about Spanx is spot on it will have you on the floor rolling around laughing, possibly peeing your pants. It's that funny. So go check them out. It's great if you need a little 3-minute break from whatever's going on and just a really, really good hard laugh. So go check both of those out. I also won a giveaway, which is awesome because I don't win anything ever. That's not true, but I don't usually win things. But Barbara from Knitting I Love, once a month, pulls a name from her podcast jar. She puts all of her favorite podcasts in this one little jar, and she pulls a name each month and sends them a little gift prize, one to keep and one to give away. So she has sent, I received her lavender set with her double circular needle holder, her DPN needle holder, a couple tags that you can put your progress keepers on, or they can be stitched onto a project. They say handmade, and then also one of her coasters with her needle gauges. So I got the lavender set for myself, and I have a full green set, beautiful, beautiful lime green, for a giveaway. So this is going to go into the Cal prizes for the gradient knit along, and it has both needle holders, little tags for your projects or progress keepers, and needle gauge coaster for your cup of tea. So thank you, Barbara. Let's see, these are awesome. I can't believe I won. I'm so excited, and I have prizes to share with all of you. So I'll show you. I have a couple more, well, one more thing, but more things to talk about with the Cal again in just a second. Let's do the giveaway that I talked about last week for reaching 100 subscribers on YouTube, and it was my birthday week, so I decided to do a giveaway. And the winner is going to get this little project bag that I made. It's a perfect sock size, hat size, mitten size, small project bag. Fits one skein with room. You could probably fit 1 or 2 small balls, like 2, 50-gram balls fit in here great with your needles for socks. It's got cupcakes all over it. One of them has a smiley face. And I've been putting some goodies in here. So we have in here another prize from Barbara from Knitting I Love. This is her orange coaster and a set of her progress keepers, which can be progress keepers or stitch markers, and one of her little Knitting I Love tags to hold it. So that is going to be a prize. I have been back and forth with Miss Melissa from Knitty by Nature this week and maybe buying all of the things in her shop. But I bought myself something, and she was lovely enough to donate a prize for the giveaway. So this is her card, Knitty by Nature, and she has put in some progress keepers. Progress keeper, which was a bonbon or could be a cupcake, but it looks good enough to eat no matter what it is. And, is it focusing okay? A bunch of little stitch markers for your needles. So this is going to be part of the prize. And then I made something else. It is a pumpkin coffee mug. I changed sides of the camera this time because I found last time I was looking at the wrong direction, and now I'm doing it because I'm used to. Anyway, sorry for focusing left and right. Okay, so this is to go around your coffee cup or a coffee mug. I made the little button handle so it can go on the inside of a mug handle. It's a little pumpkin, little stem, and a little leaf there. So that is going out in the goodie bag right here. And I'm going to pick a name. We had 15 people comment and tell me what they were working on, which entered them in this little beautiful plastic container for the chance to win that prize. So I put everybody's name on a little square, and we're mixing it up. Doodly 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 doo. Who's gonna win? This one. And it is, oh, the Happy Knitting Podcast. Julia from the Happy Knitting Podcast. You won! Oh my goodness, that's so exciting. So I will send you a message on Instagram and I will get your address and send this out to you. That's so exciting. Thank you everyone so much for telling me what you're working on and a little bit about yourself and what you're up to. That was awesome. Really, really exciting to connect with you guys a little bit and hear how much you're enjoying my show and learning a little bit about each of you. It was really fun. So we're going to do that again. I like that a lot. I'm running out of table space. I'm moving my stuff left to right and I have no place to put my tea. This is my tea mug. This is a birthday gift that I got. No distance is too far between friends. And it's got a little picture of me on the phone. I talk a lot. Woo! Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about my week before we get into what I've been knitting on. The boys started school last week and I was a nervous wreck, complete nervous wreck the day of school. My heart was in my chest. I was freaking out all morning. The boys could have cared less. They had no idea what was going on. I told them we were going to go check out the school and meet their teachers, and they were still, no thanks, maybe later. We got there, and they had a blast. They discovered that there is a Batman castle and a whole bunch of different trucks in the classroom, and that was the end of it. They were like, see you, Mom. Have a good day. So I was left standing there being like, this should have been harder. Like, aren't we all supposed to be crying right now? All the other kids are crying. All the other parents feel horrible because they just dropped their kids off at school. And I was like, I'm gonna just go because, all right. So the second day, Michael went right in the classroom, didn't even look back. First one through the door. Sean stopped, gave me a kiss, and said, you'll come back to pick me up. And I said, honey, of course I'll be here. And he said, all right, I'll see you later. So the second day I went and got myself a pedicure, and the next day again, they did great. I had actually asked Michael, can you give Mommy a kiss before you go into class? And he's like, yeah, okay, all right, see you, there's trucks in there. So they're doing great. They tell you bits and pieces about your day. Of course, what did you do at school? Nothing. And then throughout the day, they'll talk about, oh, we did dance, or oh, we played soccer, we painted. And of course, you know they painted because they came home with their painting and they got paint all over them still. And then today it's been a full week that they started school and they were all ready to go. We got our routine. They are dressed, teeth brushed, hair brushed, shoes on, got our bags, getting in the car, and they just started being brats. They didn't want to get in their seats, so we struggled just getting in the car, which that's normal for most days. We get to school and they both melted down. They didn't want to go into class. They're sitting on the ground out in front of the door. I think they were feeding off of each other. Sean said he'd go in if Michael would go in, and Michael didn't want to go in. So then I had my moment of complete heartbreak that the boys don't want to be there. I know they love it. I know they love it. They've been there all, for a whole week already, and they have a blast every single day, and they come out smiling, and they went in smiling. So I know it's not school. I think they're just tired. They got the snot-nosed kid epidemic right now because we're around other kids and everyone's got a runny nose, and so I think maybe they don't feel good, but so that left me a little bummed out today. But I know that they're having fun and they're gonna have a good day and it'll be all right. It'll be all right. And I promise them we can go grocery shopping when I pick them up. They were excited about going to the grocery store to get strawberries, so we'll have a blast going grocery shopping after school. But other than that, I had been trying to do a few mom things. I met up with a friend for coffee, and next week I'm going to get my hair colored so you guys don't have to see these beautiful roots anymore. I will be blonde again. And yeah, trying to figure out what to do with my 2.5 hours each day. Maybe knit, crochet, not focus on cleaning the house too much. So it's all new, but it's been good. So what have I been doing this week? I have a couple finished objects for you because I know this is a knitting podcast and you probably want to see some knitting and crochet. So here is the giant Minnesota Twins blanket. This is done. All the ends from around the world have been woven in. And it is huge. It is 4 foot long, 4 foot wide, by about 6.5 feet. It's for a very tall gentleman. who is 6'4", so I made it a little longer. Still going to be a throw, so, you know, it didn't have to be too big, but you want to be able to snuggle up in it. So that is done. That's going to go to its new home tomorrow. I have also started and finished, since last time, a second doggy sweater. This is going to the same little puppy Toby. I'll hopefully be able to put his picture. I haven't done my intro yet, but that should be in the beginning of this episode, or maybe at the end, a picture of Toby in his rainbow sweater that his mommy sent me. So this is Toby's second sweater. This is, oh, real quick, this pattern was Cabin in the Woods. I'll link it in the show notes for sure. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and the yarn was, I love this yarn by Hobby Lobby. How can I forget that? I love this yarn by Hobby Lobby in the cranberry, navy, and cream colorways. So all the information on that blanket will be in the show notes, and I did that on a size I hook, crochet hook, and all double stitch. Okay, so back to Toby's little sweater. This is Toby's little sweater, and the pattern for this is the Rainbow Pooch sweater, which is also a free pattern on Ravelry. The original pattern was done in the rainbow colors, which I did pretty much exact as the pattern for the last sweater I did, and it's got ribbing on the underside and the little armholes, and then on the front I did change it up a little bit. I did 1 by 1 on the collar and then 2 by 2 on the back end, just to give it, I think, a little better fit, and I like the finish of the 2 by 2. I don't think that needed to be a 1 by 1 on the back. The first sweater I did, I followed the pattern completely, except for they used a chunky yarn and I used a worsted, so I just did for gauge, and I did a 9 on the body and a size 8 needle on the ribbing, on both ribbing and the underside on the first one. So on this one I did the same 8s on the ribbing, but the first sweater was knit. It's knit all in panels. You do the top, you do the middle, and then you seam them together, and you pick up for the collar and the back. And I thought it could be done easier, so I just did this one completely in the round. So I started with the collar on this one, and then I picked up, I separated them around. I had to add 7 more stitches in for this middle part, so I just picked up around the edges, adding in 7 more stitches, and just, you know, increased as it went, and did the whole thing in the round. When I got to where the legs go, I just knit this in, like, I guess a short row panel. I just went back and forth and knit this whole 10 stripe, you know, back and forth, and then picked up on the blue back in the round, and then went back and did the little legs later. And then same with this, I just stopped here, put this on a holder, and then increased on the back the last bit of green and the last bit of the blue, and then I picked back up with the circular needle and went around and did the ribbing, picked them all up. So it came out pretty good, and I'll be interested to see how this fit goes, if it's any different than the first one, when I talk to my friend Jessica when she gets this one. So Toby, your sweater's on its way. This will be going out hopefully tomorrow also. So those are my 2 FOs this week. I have it's a whip, but in the sense that it needs to be put together. This is the part of the pillow for my Malagrigo pillow that I've been working on. This is Malabrigo worsted in the Polar Morn colorway. I knit this on size 9 needles, and I have used the entire ball that I could. I have blocked it, washed it, well, washed and blocked it, and it does fit around the pillow. I still love the change in color that's there, but I decided that I think I want to add something else. So I think, I'm going to stand up here for a second. I think I'm going to try and get a white in maybe the Malabrigo, and try and do some detail on top, like going down, maybe like a little chevron or some sort of overstitching detail. This it's a little plainer than I was thinking, Not quite in love with it yet, but I was talking with my sister, and we talked through some different ideas, and I think that's what I'm going to try, do a little overstitching and give it a little more detail, just to give it, like, down one side of the pillow, just to give it some more interest, make it pop a little bit. It's, I mean, it's nice, but it's not wowing me yet, so I'm still working on that. This is just a, you know, it's from my sister's store, so she's been very lenient with whatever I want to do. It's kind of a we're making it up as we go, so hopefully it'll be fantastic when it's done. My next WIP is my socks, my Hermione Weasley socks for the Gradient Cal. So for all of you who are interested or participating, I'm hosting a Cal. It can be a knit or crochet item. The only rule is you have to use a gradient yarn. It started September 1st and it is going to October 31st, so there's still plenty of time to enter. Projects that were no more than 50% finished by September 1st, WIPs, can be entered in also. You're welcome to join in any other Cal that your project meets the requirements for. You can double dip all you want. I'd love it if you join the Ravelry group to be part of the discussion and come join the Cal. There's a chatter thread with lots of pictures of yarn and some patterns and what people are working on already. I think we have 7 or 8 people. The 8 might be me when I counted, projects that are currently going. And like I said before, we have one object that's already in the finished object thread, and I know there will be a second one soon. So this is really exciting, really fun, and hopefully we can get a couple more people to join in. We still have plenty of time, but I am working on the Hermione's Everyday Socks, which I have named the Hermione Weasley Socks because I am using my yarn from Littlebean Crochet, which is the Weasley's Wizard Weezes. I did it! I said it! Gradient, going from beautiful kind of burnt orange into an apricot cream, and then light purple, and most of the dark purple is in the socks already. So you can see it's starting to get into the lavender already, and that is awesome. I'm so excited to start seeing it change. I would like to have had gotten further on these socks than I have. I did the cuffs in size 1.5 US on my Knitter's Pride Nova Cubics. I hope that's right. But they were 1.5 US needles, and I found starting on these ones that my gauge is a lot looser than it was when I knit my first pair of socks, which was the ones I just finished, my Time Traveler socks. And I also know that after I blocked my Time Traveler socks, they got a lot, they're softer, and they stretched out a little bit more, so they fit, but there's no negative ease. So I was hoping that going down to a size 1 on the main part of the sock, after I started the cuff, will help it have a little more fit and a little more snugness. So trial and error as we go, right? So I ordered the needles right in the beginning when I was still doing the cuff, and they arrived, and I magically ordered myself size 0s instead of size 1s, so I had to return those, and I ordered 1s right away, but it took an extra week. So I had a whole week of no knitting on my socks. But I have made up for last time, and I have got 3 full repeats done, and this is such a fun pattern. It's very simple. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I think most people who have been doing socks for a while have heard of Hermione's Everyday Socks, but it's a really fun pattern. It's very simple, and it makes such a beautiful effect, and I think this is going to look gorgeous in the gradient as it goes along. So I'm going to do whatever heel that she recommends in here. I want to try a new heel. I did the Afterthought heel in the last pair. So I'm interested in trying different heels to kind of find what heel fits best for me. And that's where I was, Oh, I must have cast on these last time. Yes, because it was my birthday cast on. So that's where I was before, so I have gotten this much done, but I'm knitting. I find now that I'm used to doing the socks and in the round, and I can go a lot faster than I did on the last one, so I'm excited about that. So both, I'm doing 2 at a time, but on separate needles, and both socks are in the exact same place. I have started just a little, instead of using a stitch counter, because I have 2 different socks, I just wrote down, like, one sock has a grapefruit, one sock has a watermelon, and those are from Knitting I Love's little fruit charms. So I just write down when I, you know, row 1, 2, 3, 4, and then mark it as I go, just in case I need to stop before I finish all 4 on each side, and that way I know where I am. The pattern is very easy to remember, but I figured with 2 socks and 2 boys and whatever else that gets going on in this house, better safe than sorry, because I haven't done enough yet to really be able to just pick it up and read it. I'm still definitely enjoying knitting 2 at a time. This hasn't had much twist at all. You know, when I get to a full, I've been trying to do 4 full repeats. I will get a little twist, but I just kind of keep an eye on it as it goes, and I just twist the ball and keep track of it, but no snags, no knots, anything like that. This has been a real pleasure to knit with, and it's exciting to see the next color coming through. Yeah, I think that's everything about that right now. So this is again part of my gradient cal. You're welcome to knit any type of project you want. There are a lot of shawls going on right now. I think I'm the only one that's doing socks. But I'm in a sock phase right now since I've just started knitting socks. This is my 2nd pair of socks, so I'm going to keep going with the knitting sock fun. And this is living in a little project bag that I made myself. Same style drawstring bag as the one that's a giveaway. It's got you know, pretty flowers all over it, gray polka dots on the inside, and just a little pink ribbon. So let me show you what I have for prizes right now for the gradient cal. I'm going to make another bag, a little sock size bag, or a small project bag. Like, again, you could definitely fit a hat or mittens or a beginning of a shawl in there. I think when you get, you know, going, maybe a shawlette, a whole shawl probably won't fit in there. Yes, so I'm going to make another bag. I haven't picked the fabric yet, but I might base it off of some of the prizes and try and match up something fun. So, for prizes that we have so far, we have, again, the 2 needle cozies and coaster from Barbara over at Knitting I Love, with 2 stitch marker keepers or project tags that you can put on your project. And I have another donated prize from Miss Melissa at the Knitty by Nature stitch markers. She's on Etsy. She's also on Instagram, and she posts all kinds of beautiful, posts her markers almost every day, showing new things she has in the store. And she has donated a 2nd prize to me. Oh, is it twisted? Try and get it so you can see them all. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I can do this. I can do this. Yes. Okay, anyway. So, there is a sheep. There's a little sheep. Stitch marker, progress keeper. There is a beautiful little bird. Which this one is progress keeper. This one is on the little loop here, so you can use it as stitch marker or progress keeper. And then a little sweet pea, 3 peas in the pod pea. Aren't those adorable? And they're all kind of in a brass finish, and they're so lovely. So that's that will also be a prize for the Knit Along Cal, along with the needle holders and a bag that I'm making. And there's another prize that I know of that's on its way that was donated, and as soon as that gets here, I will show that off. Hopefully I'll have that for the next episode, because that's a surprise. Whatever, I have an idea of what it is, but I don't know all of the details. But so there's one more prize coming for that giveaway, so I'm so excited about that. Yay! Let's see, so we talked about finished objects, we talked about WIPs. Let me show you what I have done for sewing, and then I will show you what I've got for purchases. And I also have a new segment this week, which will be knitting for family, which I'm going to put at the end so my family can watch 90% of this podcast, and then when I get to the knitting for family at the end, y'all need to shut it off because that's the end of it and you can't see that part. So I've dropped more stuff on the floor. Oh my goodness. Okay, so for sewing this week, I have got a lot of work done on my Hollyburn skirt, and I'm so excited. So it's an actual skirt now. The pockets are all done, the waistband is done, I put the zipper in, it's all seamed up, and it's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches too big. So I talked with my mom, who sews quite a bit, and I've decided that I'm going to take off the, well, just take up the waistband. You fold the waistband over and you stitch in the ditch here so it looks very nice and neat and professional. I'm going to take that up, and I'm going to take the zipper out and the back seam off, and I'm going to fit it to myself like you should when you're knitting yourself a garment. I think I didn't really do that because when I was taking my measurements and compared them to what the pattern said in the beginning, it was going to be on the tighter side for the biggest size that it was available. So I was a little nervous that it wasn't going to fit at all, that it was going to be too tight. So I kind of didn't want to try it on yet because I was like, well, I'll just try it on at the end and hope that it fits or squeeze myself into it. Because I knew it was like 1 inch. I had 1 inch of play supposedly, but yeah, it's huge. So I think, you know, with all the seaming done and the waistband already on, and I've cut off the excess already for where you apply the waistband, I think the best is to just unfold it, take the zipper out, and then adjust it in the back to the right tightness, because it does sit on my hips, but it's really loose, and I'd like it to fit. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. It's so pretty. All I have left to do, I think, is the hem. As far as what's left on the skirt, I don't know if there's other details. But it needs a break. I did a lot of work on it. That's what I did on Monday, and I was kind of bummed out. But I'm going to make this fit because I really want this skirt, and I already am dreaming of beautiful sweater patterns that I want to make to go with it. And I want to make more skirts. So I don't know, maybe I can even just go down a size next time I cut it out. Or just be more conscious because I already have this particular pattern cut out. I could just, when I'm sewing it together, you know, maybe make my seams a little bigger, and then when I go to closing up that back, try it on before you sew yourself into a corner. But I'm still enjoying sewing, and I'm loving this pattern, and it's definitely a simple pattern. The instructions from KT over at Insidenumber 23 on her podcast channel are awesome. She is a great teacher. The tutorials are wonderful, and she's keeping them up. So anybody that would like to do this pattern or get some details on putting together a garment, skirt style garment, and finishes, she's got all kinds of tutorials on the different finishes because she's doing 2 different skirts and 2 different fabrics. So please go check it out. Of course, all of her information will be in the links. I know there's a few people here that are doing the Hollyburn skirt. I know of 2 that watch, and I am spilling my tea all over myself. Sorry. So that's been fun. A little setback, but I'm kind of over it. I'm just going to go forward. I want that skirt, and I'm going to make it fit right, and so I can be happy with it. Okay. So I got a little bit of birthday spending money, and I have been spending it. There's a couple things that haven't arrived yet that I've purchased, but now I have to save some of it because I do have a trip up to Gloucester, and there's some other things that I'm saving for. So I did splurge a little bit, which is okay because that's what you're supposed to do when you get money for yourself. That's a gift. And I'm going to show you what I got. The first thing is very silly. It's not silly, it's tea. It is tea. It is salted caramel tea that was at the grocery store. They had a whole display. They had a pumpkin spice, salted caramel, and apple cider. And I almost grabbed the apple cider, but it's a herbal blend, and I like herbal blends, but not like, you know what I mean, flavor out of the box herbal blend. I don't like the apple. I was just gonna say I don't like the apple cinnamon. I've tried something similar to that before, so I didn't want it. So I decided on the salted caramel. It's a black tea, and it is amazing. This is so good. When we go grocery shopping after school today to get strawberries, I'm gonna get another box of this to squirrel away. And I'm gonna double check, and if the pumpkin spice is a black tea also, I'm gonna get it and try it. But this is awesome, and some of this will be in this bag going out as the prize because yummy. So that is good. So that was like one little tiny thing, but I had to share that because it's really good. And it was just at the regular grocery store, and it's Bigelow salted caramel. It's definitely a dessert. Like if you want something sweet, that's what to get. Okay, so I've already talked about Melissa and all of her generous donations she gave to both of my giveaways. I'm going to show you what I purchased for myself. I purchased at first this little tiny turtle. And I had purchased the cupcake bonbon, which was going to go as a giveaway prize. And then she so graciously donated a whole set. And she threw in for me this little tiny lotus leaf. So these are all beautiful stitch markers. And she puts it on a lovely little, it's like a progress keeper or a stitch marker. They're like little safety pins with beautiful little beads on it. So I bought that first, and then she kept putting up new items on her page on Instagram. So I had to go back because she had a different turtle. I love turtles. I've always loved turtles. Turtles have always been my thing. And then when my brother and sister got married in Hawaii, well, my brother and his wife, my sister-in-law got married in Hawaii a few years ago, I got the chance to go out. It was the shortest trip to Hawaii I think anyone's ever taken. It was 5 days total, you know, 1 day traveling both sides. So I was legit in Hawaii for 3.5 days, not traveling. So I got to see the turtles. It was the highlight of my life. Oh yeah, and my brother getting married to his, you know, best friend. But so I had to get another turtle. This one's a little bit different, swimming on the side, and they had a sand dollar. Which reminded me of, you know, just growing up in Gloucester. We always used to get sand dollars at the beach. So I had to have those. And then Melissa had to go and do another update. And this is where I had to stop myself because I could just buy everything in her shop. And she put up some new bronze stitch markers. And there was the lighthouse and the whales, which Gloucester has many, many lighthouses and beautiful whale watching trips you can go out on and see the whales. And these markers come with these progress keepers come with 2 stitch markers in her shop. And she added in this gorgeous octopus. And then again, she just, the way she adds a little progress keeper stitch marker with her orders when she packages them on her card. So that is all awesome. And now I have a whole bunch of stitch markers that I can put on my stitch marker holders that Barbara sent me with all of my fruit stitch markers. So I think I'm pretty okay with stitch markers and progress keepers at the moment because I didn't have any except for the plastic ones that you buy at the craft store. And now I have a bunch of fancy ones and I need more projects to put them on. So that's my next goal. Okay, my next purchase was yarn. I have been going through my Harry Potter phase, if anyone hasn't caught on to that. Littlebean has been my kryptonite. or my enabler, I don't know. So she started dyeing trees based on the Harry Potter books and wands, and my wand is willow with dragon heart, and it's quite flexible, dragon heart string. So she did Whomping Willow, and I had to buy it. And it is gorgeous. Look how beautiful it is. Oh, this is coming so true to color. Look, it's got oranges and greens, just kind of like the leaves starting to turn, the beautiful chocolate browns, and oh man. So she's been knitting them up and showing them off too, which isn't fair. She's a troublemaker. I love you, Kayleen. But, so this is Whomping Willow by Littlebean Loves, and she has, also has a couple other tree themes, rowanwood and elm, I think. She's done 2 other tree colorways along with her Harry Potter gradients and magical sunshine. This is on a DK, and this is going to be fingerless mitts, and I have a pattern to show you that I have in mind, because I was thinking if it's going to be, you know, based on my wand, what, you know, your wand hand should have, right? Okay, this is, if it's getting bad, just let me know. But this is the pattern that I would like to do, and it is called Leaves, fingerless mitt leaves, and oh, I didn't save. I'll put the designer's name in the notes, but it's fingerless mitts and leaves is the name of the pattern. So I'm going to do that for myself in this yarn. It is her Luxe DK. It is an 80 superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. So a little soft, super soft, little special, little cashmere. Birthday splurge for myself, and I'm very excited about that. And okay, so yarn. I could buy everything in her store, so I have to be restrain myself a lot. The last purchase I made that I have physically to show you is a book called Warm Days, Cool Knits, and it is by Karina Ferguson. And she lives down in Florida. And I think I may have talked about this in one of the first few episodes. It's a book that I've been eyeing, and this book is for people who live in warm climates but still want to knit. So it's a lot of short, lightweight tops. There's a few shawls, there are a pair of socks in here. I looked this book up on Ravelry and to see more about the patterns, and I loved almost every single one of them. There are a few lighter weighted cardigans in here. I think almost everything's done in a finger weight. So here's the Zolena. This is a 2-piece. It's a sweater and a cowl. So you can layer it if, you know, that's her winter look. Oh, there's hats in here too. This is one of my favorites. This one is called Spring. Look at the detail on that. Just a short with some cabling. I'm so excited. So excited about this book. So I need to really think about, this is the one that's on the front cover. Just a light top with some nice lace detail. It's really, you know, kind of a longer fit. This is the Leora. So I'm loving this because it is still in the 90s here. We had a cold day at 88 a couple days ago, but it's going to be 90 all weekend, and you know, we don't really cool down here until October. So, and then it'll be in the 70s. So I'm loving this because I'd love to have some beautiful knit tops for myself, and this has got some great patterns in it, so I have to really think of colors that I'd like to wear. Does anyone else have the trouble of looking at yarn and being like, I haven't been able to wrap my mind around, you know, looking at yarn, like a wall of yarn, and being like, what color would I want a full shirt in? But I guess maybe it's because I haven't tried to knit myself anything like that yet. So I have to really think, and I think I need to be in a yarn store and not just looking online or at a catalog. Like I think I need to look at it and see it and hold it up and pick a few, you know, be able to pick colors for what I want to wear. So those are all my purchases so far. I'll have a few more things to show you the next episode because there's a couple more things coming in. And yeah. So, okay, so I think that's everything that's non-family related. So if you're my family member, bye! This will probably go on through Christmas at the latest, at the earliest, and yeah. Bye, family! So, if you're not family and you're still here, let me show you what I have cast on as my first family Christmas gift knit. I decided it's obviously a little late. I did a couple really large blankets this year, which, let me tell you, this podcast has motivated me to get going. I finished 2 blankets this summer, and that is amazing. But now I have some time for personal knitting and gift knitting, and I'm really excited. So I decided that I don't have time to knit for everybody this year. I have a very large family. I'm the eldest of 7. And everybody, except for my sister and brother-in-law that just got married, has kids. So there's, you know, there's like 8, I think I have 8 nieces and nephews. More than that, because my husband's nephews, so like 10. But anyway, so what I've decided is I'm going to try and do a knit item for my nieces and nephews and my grandparents. And then next year I would like to be able to do something knit for, you know, all the parents or siblings or something, you know, just even if it's small. So all of that babble out of the way, I've started a scarf for my grandmother, and I popped this up on Instagram the other day. I was in Joann's and saw this yarn, and I'm in my gradient phase. It's called Scarfie. I think it's a new yarn from them. It looks like it's, you know, going to gradient very nicely from the dark into a medium, into the lighter, into the white, and then back around. So I started knitting with it last night. I'm going to do an infinity scarf that she can wrap around like twice. So she can do it maybe 3 times if it's really cold. She lives up in Massachusetts, so they're going to get snow. This is something hopefully she'll wear a lot. Or she can do it twice and wear it more of a, you know, a decorative part of her outfit. So here's what I have so far. I'm making this up as I go along. I'm just doing, I cast on 30 stitches. This is on 9-inch needles. I have 5 garter stitch on each edge just to kind of keep it from curling on the sides, and then stockinette in the center. This is acrylic wool, but it's mostly acrylic, so if it starts to curl a lot, I think I can still block it, but I don't know if I have to steam it. I think I need to look into it a little bit, but I don't know. I know acrylics don't block with just water, but because of the wool, it might help set it a little bit. But so far, so good on the curling. This is going to get seamed to the other end, so I'm not too worried about that. What I'm not excited about is right after this beautiful gradient, there was a knot in the yarn, and it had an abrupt change to this dark teal. So at first I was bummed and was thinking, if they're all going to be that abrupt, it's not really what I was expecting. But as I'm looking at the yarn, and as, I don't know if you can tell, as it's starting to get into further into this teal, it is starting to pick up little more specks of white. So I think it might blend better. I think maybe I just got that ball in the yarn where they joined 2 skeins, and they just did the best they could. So I'm going to keep going and see how the next color change goes. You know, it's going to be hopefully a longer scarf, and this will just be an accent piece somewhere. You know, I think the way it looks is that they're both end in this color, so that just may be the one sharp contrast. I'm not going to quite worry about it yet, but I was a little bummed. That just wasn't what I was expecting. I heard a lot about the Caron cakes too, and the Caron cakes I kind of figured it might be like that because that's, you know, those are modeled to be a birthday cake, not necessarily to be a gradient yarn, but the color changes on those are quite abrupt. Still, they look like a lot of fun to work with if you're doing a fun, bright colored project. So, this is my first project for one of my grandmothers, and I am going to do another scarf for my grandfather. I asked him what he would wear most if I made him something, you know, hat or mittens or a scarf, and he said a scarf, and he has picked out a really pretty holly berry red. So I need to order that, and I'm going to do him just more of a straight gentleman scarf. He doesn't want anything too fancy, but I found a pattern, and I think it's called Broken Rib, and I think you just like knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, and then reverse it on the other side. I need to, you know, look it up a little bit more, but so I got that going. And hoping now that I have 2 sets of needles, even though one's a size 1, one's a size 1.5, I'm going to start a second pair of socks, and these will be for my mom. These are the yarn I picked up when we were in Pensacola. It's diversity. It's acrylic and polyester, but she can't, she has like a wool allergy, so she can't wear wool next to her skin. So this is going to be, I'm assuming, is self-striping. That looks pretty obvious. But you know, so I'm excited about that. I'm gonna do these on my 1.5s. I wear a woman's size 8, and she wears a woman's size 5. So I think I'm going to just use my 1.5 needles and go down. I've been doing 64 stitches on my socks, and I think I'll try 60 stitches, because you know, the width of her ankles and feet are probably the same as mine. They're just shorter, so I don't want to go too small. And my plan, her birthday is in October. My plan is to make these up and get to the toes, and then when I go up and visit her this fall, I will just finish the toes with her there so she can try them on, because I'm a little nervous about knitting socks for somebody else, and she has such smaller feet than I do. I don't want to make them, you know, I want to make them something that's going to fit her nicely. So I'm going to hopefully cast these on soon, and then I have a Patriots hat that's going to be coming in the works for one of my little nieces. I made one for my niece Audrey, who was a Christmas gift from my brother before Audrey was born, and it fits her now, and hopefully I'll be able to pop a picture of the hat in for you. If not, I'm making a second one. So Audrey's got her hat, she looks adorable, and it'll be on my Ravelry page. I'll put a picture of her on my Ravelry page, and with the hat on. And then my other niece, Hayden, needs a Patriots hat, so I've ordered another bow. It's just a simple crocheted hat in Patriots colors, and I got purchased on Etsy this beautiful big honkin' bow, which both hats will be exactly the same. That's Patriot ribbon with a Patriot button in the middle, and then you just make the hat, put the bow on it, and then when they're bigger, they can wear the bow in their hair. So I'm going to make a second hat for Hayden, and both of those young ladies are going to be baptized when we're up visiting family in November, so I'm going to be making them both, which is a surprise, little bolero sweaters to go over their christening dresses for the church, because you know, it's going to be November, it's cold in New England, and that way they can, and they're just, you know, they're short cropped, well, you can't see, but they'll be, you know, like a short crop, but for a baby, with long sleeves and beautiful eyelets. So I've ordered that pattern, and I've ordered the yarn, and that will all be here soon. So hopefully I'll have that to show you next time. And I have a whole list of things that I'd like to do. I would like to do a crocheted hat for each of my nieces and nephews. I started doing some hats for them last year, and they were a big hit, and two of my other sisters crochet and knit also, so I didn't do them for everybody, but I think this year I'd like to. try and do a fun hat. So I'm hoping to have some fun hat designs, maybe some just simple fun colors, maybe some with little critter faces. We will see. So that's my family knitting planning coming up. And I have a list a mile long of things that I'd love to knit. So we will see what I got going on. I got this big blanket done, and now I have some free time, some free needles, some free hooks. And yeah, so I think that's everything. Thank you all so much for watching and coming back and sticking around and being part of the knit along and the giveaways. I look forward to my next podcast. I'm going to try very hard to get every 2 weeks and set a day to record and a day to post. I'm doing my best. I don't want to do 3 weeks again. I'd like to see you all before then. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. Hope you have something beautiful that you're making. If you do, tag me in it. I'd love to see it. And I will see you next time. Bye.